Today we're going to talk about how to build trust with your team, okay? I know a lot of times when you're trying to build a team, whether it's employees, whether it's salespeople, whatever it may be, the first foundation of a relationship is trust, right? And for those of you that don't know, my name is Michael Barayev. I built a team of over 150 plus salespeople. In less than 2.5 years, we did that with zero money invested. And right now we have a solar sales team that's growing like crazy. And I'm telling you this from experience. Like, trust is necessary to build any type of relationship with your team. Without trust, without the foundation, you will never, ever have a team. And now the question is, how do you build trust with people? Now that you've actually built a good relationship with them in the beginning, you got them interested, you're in your team, they're in your business, they're working with you. Like, how do you build that trust and how do you maintain that level of trust on a consistent basis? Because remember, it takes a very long time to build true 100% trust, but it takes a snap of a second to lose it, right? You can lose your reputation in literally less than a half a second. So we're going to talk today about building trust with your team, okay? And one of the first things you need to understand is that if you want to build trust with your team, number one thing you need to understand is that it's not about you, right? It's about them. And you have to make it about them by serving them. You build trust by doing things for them that their own mom, dad, father, brother, cousin, sister, uncle wouldn't do for them. And if you do that, you're serving them. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to be there looking like a dog, always, how do I serve you? No. But like in your mind, yes. How do you find ways to serve them? And it's not a manipulation to build their trust. It's just a genuine thing you want to do because you want to help your people. You want to help your team. At the end of the day, if you're the CEO or if you're a manager, if you're the owner, whatever it may be, whatever position they've given you, you're not at the top of the food chain. As a matter of fact, you're on the bottom of the food chain, holding the whole food chain in place, right? Just think of an upside down pyramid, okay? So when you're out there, you're taking care of your team, your job is to serve them. The more you serve them, the more like, wait a minute, this guy actually cares about me. This guy thinks about me. He's worried about my well-being. He wants to see me win. And when they see that, right, they get excited because like, wow, this is someone finally that is understanding of me. And when they feel understood, now they can start building trust with you, okay? They need to feel understood first, right? So serving them is very important. Now, what are some things you can do to serve your team? Well, number one, think about them, right? Think about what is it that you can do to make their life easier. So for example, let's say you're knocking on doors or you're banging on phone calls, right? If you're banging on phone calls in a call center setting, how can you help them? How can you make their life easier? If you see that they got, dirt on their table or some, no organization, maybe organize their table, right? Maybe take care of them. Ask them how they're doing. Maybe pick them up from work and say, hey, you need a ride or something, right? Do things out of the ordinary to help them be better individuals, to help them in their progressive realization of their worthwhile dream or goal. Help them in their progress. Help them in their achievement of their wins and their targets and their goals. And it'll be much easier for you to win. Next is commitment, okay? Commitment is everything. For example, most people see the word commitment and they're like, oh my God, I don't like commitments. I don't like committing to things. Well, remember, you need to commit. And anything you want to do, if you want to win at anything, you got to commit. So when you're committing to your word and your bond and you stay committed and true to what you say you're going to do, your team and your people will see that and they're going to trust you. If you tell them I'm going to be somewhere at 9:15 and you're there at 9:25, what they're thinking in their back of their minds, if I can't trust them to be here for a specific time and he shows up 7 minutes late, what happens if I really need him? Like, be honest right now. You have a couple of friends, you got a couple of coworkers you're with right now. Think about it. Who would you call? Who's that one guy that is accountable that you know for a fact that if you call them, they'll be there for you in a heartbeat? Think about it. And I promise you, it's because they've been there for you and they've never not picked up the phone, never ignored you. Like, I heard leaders before. I heard a couple of leaders in my past that said to me, oh, Michael, I don't pick up, different companies, but a competition. I was like, they're like, oh, Michael, we don't pick up on the calls when an agent calls me. I'll let it stay there for a couple of hours or a couple of days. I'm like, what? I'm like, you don't pick up the phone, especially when you have time and availability. You don't pick up the phone because you want some kind of like weird vibe. Like, what are you talking about? If someone is calling me, that is an opportunity for me to pick up. That's an opportunity for me to be committed. That's an opportunity for me to serve them. I always pick up. If I'm in a meeting, obviously I won't pick up, but I'm always finding ways. If somebody calls me and I got a time, boom, I pick up. Or within an hour or two, they get a phone call back from me, right? I don't have to pick up every single phone call right there at that moment, but at least I acknowledge them. Hey, I'm taking care of a meeting right now. I'll give you a call back in an hour. I'm always there. I'm always responsive, 24/7, right? I'm always there for my team. My team knows if you call me, you're getting a hold of me, always, because my word is my bond. If I say I'm going to do something, it's done. If I say I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, it's going to be done because I know that if I don't do it, I lose trust with my team. So it's very, and you might say, Michael, I keep my commitments only when it comes to work stuff, and when it comes to my personal stuff, I don't keep my commitments. That's not going to rock, guys. You got to keep commitments in all areas of your life. All areas of your life need commitment. Because if you don't have all areas of life with full commitment, you ain't going to win. And you ain't going to win my trust. If you want to build trust with me as an individual, as a human being, you better have commitment. Because I want to be around people that stay true to their word. And a lot of leaders don't have that. And that's a mistake. And you're trying to like build teams. You're always losing people is because you do not know how to commit. And I know it's a scary word, but it's a powerful word at the same time. It's a needed word in this society. Most people quit in relationships because they don't commit. Most people don't get past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a relationship with someone in business or with family, whatever, because they don't commit. You have to commit. And when you commit, you figure out the details later. Oh, Michael, what if I make a promise that I don't keep it? Well, make sure you keep it. Well, I don't know if it's going to happen. It's going to happen if you say it's going to happen. If you say you're going to do X, Y, and Z, you better go figure out a way to do it. Don't say, I won't get it done. Figure out how you can get it done. And keep that word, because remember, when you keep that word, you stay committed to your true word, committed to what you need to do, people watch you. And people see that, and they now want to trust you, right? Which leads me to the next thing, right? I'm going to skip empathy for a second, but you got to be predictable. Right? You have to be predictable. Like, I am someone that is predictable in my behaviors. My strategies are not predictable because that's not good for competition to know what I'm doing. But when it comes to me and my personality, me and my character, me and my values and my principles, I'm extremely predictable. Like, there's no way I would go against my values and my principles for any human being. No way. Why? Because I have predictability in my nature. I'm extremely predictable. That's what leadership is about. It's about being predictable. Can people count on you? Can I count on you as an individual, as a leader? Can I hold myself? Can I just go like this? The trust factor. Can I just do this and know you're going to catch me? If you're not predictable, you're not always there. I don't know if I can. You got to be predictable, man. And in order to be predictable, you have to, in your mind, make a decision that from this day forward, you will be predictable in your actions. Create habits in your life that make you predictable. Oh, Michael, you don't understand. Oh, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Every day is different for me. No. Be predictable. Every day should be the same. If you don't hit the gym that day, that's fine. You can sleep in an hour and whatever, but you got to be predictable. Do you show up on time every single where you go? Do people know your day, like how your day looks like? Is it predictable? Now, I understand you have meetings, I get it. But is your life predictable? Is your character predictable? Is your nature predictable? Or are you like one day excited and then the next week you're not pumped up? 2 weeks in, you're fired up, you're excited about the new transition, the new changes in the company. Now you're all depressed. Like, does that happen to you or are you predictable? Does your team know that you're predictable at all given times? Do they see you as a peak and a beacon of hope for the team? Or are you like one day the hope and excited about life and you want to change their life and the next day you're wondering if this is the right industry for you? So you can't be a yo-yo and be predictable at the same time. You're either predictable or you're a yo-yo. You're either predictable or you're an emotional basket case. And you got to pick one. And I'm telling you, you want to build trust to your team? Be predictable. I promise you, that's my team. Michael is Michael Barayev. Like, I don't change in terms of like my predictability. Like people, I'm very predictable. I'm a creature of habit. That's what I am. I'm a creature of habit because I'm predictable. And if I'm predictable, people can lean on me. Okay? Nobody wants to lean on a hut built out of straw. They want to lean on a brick or cement to build house. Why? Because it's predictable. Because I know that it's going to be there. The straw house, I'm not sure, man. Big bad wolf goes and it's gone, right? But that house, that brick, that steel is always going to be there. So you got to be predictable. Okay, next, empathy. You got to show love and care for your team. We talk about this in serving, but empathy is not just loving them and caring for them, but it's also understanding how they feel, feeling their pain, understanding their situation they're going through. Like right now, I cannot understand what my team is going through on a daily basis when they're fighting out there, knocking on doors, hustling with phone calls. I can't understand that. I've been there before. I've done that, but I don't have the empathy as much as I used to. Why? Because I haven't done it in a long time. So sometimes I got to go back in there and start seeing and feeling their pain and asking them questions so I can understand their pain. But the best way to do that is go do the work. Go out there. If you haven't knocked on a door or made a phone call, hustle or made a sale, go in there and do it. Here and there is fine. As a leader, even if you're a CEO, you got enough time. There's always time to do that. To what? To feel the pain that your people have. Feel their emotions. Feel what they're going through. Understand what's going on in their minds. Because empathy is everything to build trust. You need to have empathy, right? Next, build outside of them. Very, very important. I learned this lesson from one of my mentors. He said, you have one team, awesome. Build outside of that team. Always build outside of that team. Why do you want to build outside of that team? So they don't feel like that you need them. Because you necessarily do not need them. They need you. That's the mindset you want to have, right? And if they feel like you need them and they're holding you hostage, your cake. You need to build outside of them, which is why I'm always looking to build more teams and recruit more people and build outside of that. Because I never want anyone to think that I need them. Because truly, I don't need anyone, right? I truly do not need anyone. They need what I have to offer because I have so much juice to give them as a leader, as a manager, as a business owner, right? So obviously I do need it because without them I'm nobody. But in reality, I don't need them specifically. I need a team, and I need multiple teams. And that's what you need. You need to build outside of them. And what this does also, it shows them that not only you don't need that specific person, but you're willing to do the work outside of them and not just depend on them. Because a lot of times when you're building a team and let's say for example, you have one organization or one team or one office or whatever, they may feel like you're only successful because of them. But when you build outside of them, they already know that you're going to be successful with them or without them. And they need to feel that a little bit, and that creates, not only does it create trust, but also creates that competitive edge for them to buy and kind of buy and earn your time, right? It's very important. So building outside is extremely important. It's one of my top tips that I've always used. It always works out. If I have a team that's not growing very well, and my leadership is kind of like winding down a little bit, I'm building teams, baby. I got so many teams outside of that, bro. It doesn't even matter. I got teams on teams on teams, and I'm always building teams. Always. I'm spreading my tentacles as wide as possible because I'm not dependent on one team or one individual or one office or one anything. Remember this, you never want one of anything. You want one wife and one God. Everything else, you want multiples of it. I want more money. I want more cash. I want more friends. I want more family. I want more everything. I want more businesses. I want more of everything. But I only want one God and one wife. Everything else, multiple, baby. Right? And that's the mindset. You need to build outside of your teams and have multiple teams, multiple channels, multiple avenues. So you're not dependent on one sucker to say, oh, you're successful because of me. Because that's never going to happen. So remember, building outside builds trust. Because now I'm like, wait a minute. He not only is helping me and serving me, and the success that he has, not only for me, but he also has other people that are winning beside him. So that's crucial. Like, that builds trust. Why does someone want to do business with me, as an example, if I don't have anything outside of them? If I'm successful because of you, that's not going to build trust, right? Next, last thing is time. To build trust, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes patience. It's not going to happen in one day. You can't go serve them and be committed today, be empathetic and be predictable and build a team outside. Like, you can't do that in one day. It takes time, weeks, months, even years sometimes, right? And like we talked about in the beginning of the video, it takes a long time to build a reputation, and a long time to build trust, but it takes a half of a second to lose all that. So you got to be very careful how you build trust with people. Be careful not to lose that. Maybe I'll make another video on how to not actually, how to make sure you maintain your trust, because it's difficult. It's not easy. It's challenging, right? Building trust with someone and maintaining that is extremely difficult. It's called being human. But as long as you can do what you're supposed to do and not hurt people in the process and not be selfish about just yourself and worry about other people around you, I promise you're going to have a very, very, very productive growing team. So my name is Michael Barayev. If you do me a favor, I'm begging you guys, right? Share this video with someone that needs to build a team. Share this with someone that needs to learn how to build some trust, okay? It helps the YouTube guys and the algorithm to bless us. So drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and we greatly, greatly appreciate you. Have a good one.